What brings you here today? Okay, so now we should have access to these. So, chemical sharpshooter. Oh, looks like you're more than worthy to walk the path of the alchemic sharpshooter. It just so happens that I've discovered someone whose skills are an excellent match for this arcana. We're currently undertaking the alchemic sharpshooter for. Let's complete this. Although we've had a number of missives and counts, handpicked, blah 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 blah. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna skip through a lot of this, cause goddamn, I'm getting tired and also I'm hungry. Things always seem like they change quickly down in the lowlands, but the more I travel, the more I realize it's not much changing from week to week. The journey this time proved as uneventful as the last. You always ask, and I'm always sorry to keep giving you the same answer. I apologize. Jeez. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip through a lot of this, cause my gosh, how much more? Huh? With this, I believe my responsibility to the scholars and slave maze has been fulfilled. They did request some sort of stamp or seal to confirm the receipt of the report, so let me know if you can take care of that here. I'll take care of delivering copies to all the royal societies and associations, so you needn't worry about that. Oh, and I made sure to get the confirmation stamp in advance, so you don't have to sit around waiting for some magistrate in the castle to get around to it. I can't help feel a bit guilty though. This request was far different from what I originally asked of you, so I appreciate you agreeing to help out. It seems like I came up rather sudden. It seems like it came up rather suddenly, so I understand your need. But you needn't thank me. I heard from the research team and Sleeves that you went out of your way to avoid troubling me, exhausting your other potential options first. I appreciate your consideration. Oh, and the central focus of this report is the conditions in Sleeves. And if you're seeking a broad overview of that, well, I dare say I might be able to frame it more clearly than the scholars. Agreed, your safety and that of the researchers is paramount, so I welcome your observations. Could you give us a few minutes? Appeared to you as though something around here caught Louis' eye. Take a closer look at the floor. But apart from the symbols, the Arcana themselves, it's as clean as you'd expect given Laura's penchant for tidying up. There doesn't seem to be much else of note here. Causes rectal geological movement. I can see how that might present a problem. I'll request an investigation of that as well. Can you spare a moment? There was something I wanted to speak with you about. I noticed that the area right outside of the Great Hall seemed largely deserted, which suits me just fine. I'll be waiting for you there. This is a lot of documents, even by my standards. It appears some of them will require transcription of additional copies as well. I can already see this will keep me busy for the next several days. I'll see you later. Blah, blah, blah. I've heard some militians are fond of changing their appearance often, but it seems you're less inclined. Honestly, I appreciate your hair. I think the color suits you well. I have not changed my character's looks for quite a long time. But I had two good reasons for it. Have you been coerced into working with Arcana associations? Perhaps they've uncovered some weakness of yours, or bound you with some strange magic. I noticed certain peculiar sigils emblazoned on the floor around the lectern that holds the green flame, one of which bears a suspiciously close resemblance to sigil I saw in Glen Bjerna. To my eyes, the arrangement of the dots and lines appeared nearly identical. If you're caught up in some perilous situation, you can confide in me. Say the word and I'll aid you in whatever way I can, no matter what the danger. Isn't dangerous place and has not, in fact, seized upon the weakness. Well, you seem relaxed enough. I'm just relieved. Perhaps I was all the more convinced because you're the only one left I can trust, and the only one I know I can fully rely on. Of course, if something was distressing enough to make you worry, I doubt my concern would matter one way or the other. Well, that's one matter settled. At least not now that I know you're alright. If you just come find me. You don't have any other pressing matters at hand? Well, then I suppose I'll get right into it. Seriously, I've been experiencing a strange phenomenon. This will likely sound as odd to hear as it does to describe it. But how to phrase it? Well, I've been gaining knowledge that isn't my own. It keeps flowing into my mind like a font that wells up without cease. Ugh. Ideas I've never pondered, questions I've never grappled with. It's begun to affect my own thoughts and behaviors, and I'm afraid that if this goes on, it will begin impacting my judgments, or even my values. From birth, all I've known is the way of the Mountain Keeper. The knowledge I can call my own is what was passed down to me. The legends and tales, the wood lore, and how to venerate the god who safeguards us. I suspect the same would be true of all the Mountain Keepers I've known. We're not the sort to go around poking our noses into the divine. If anything, I'd say we bow our heads and follow dutifully, even if the path led into a lightless abyss. We would likely just raise our lanterns and forge ahead. Of course, I did aid your druid friend in a ritual to veil the sight of a being that may well be a deity without a second thought. When I look back on it now, I can hardly believe I did that. It's like trying to imagine Sleipnir without any snow. Do you think I can still claim to be that person? That I'm still the Lewis you know? When did it first start playing? That I do remember clearly. At least, it's not one of the memories from the times that were sealed away from me. Oh, god dang it. Sort of crystal ball. As an accomplished alchemist yourself, I figured that you'd have a far better idea of what this thing is than I. I don't know what to call it, and don't practically care, but it was the first thing I ever transmuted. If anything, you can tell from its abstract look that it was made from broken down and reconstituted materials. I decided I'd try storing the knowledge and memories that aren't mine by materializing them like this. My hope is that this will help to remind me, as many times as I needed, that what's contained within isn't from my own life. The memory stored the is that one. The memory stored in that one is the scene that greeted me the first time I entered Glenbierna. Don't worry, I've confirmed several times that viewing the memories like this causes no harm. But I'm not trying to show you like this because I'm too lazy to explain it myself. It's just that, well, what I experienced was so strange that I felt you'd have an easier time understanding if you saw it for yourself, what I witnessed. Just hold it in your hand and focus on the lights you can see twinkling in the core. After a moment or two, you should see the memory play out before you, as though you were there. Here's the object when you're ready. Who the heck is that? Huh, I didn't think this is the result I was supposed to get. How does your experiment... How goes your experiment, Lois? Made any headway? Wait, Doran? Oh, Master Doran. I hope you've fared better with your work than I with mine. I'm sorry to say there's been no sign of the breakthrough I'd hoped for. And? Have you realized what it is you're lacking? If you'll take my advice for what it's worth, rushing seldom does us any favors. The more you try to hurry a result, the more times you'll have to repeat the same experiment. There is nothing we cannot explain within alchemy's model of natural forces, provided we have the time and patience to comprehend what we observe. Consider, for instance, whether you require additional reagents beyond simply alchemical crystals. After all, the study of alchemy is driven by mankind's desire to understand the natural world, and so it follows that we would avail ourselves of what nature provides us. You said you seek to artificially create snow, did you not? What in the world are you doing stooped over an oven? You should head north. Surround yourself with snow and try to more deeply understand its essence. I fear you've struck at the heart of it. I've been so focused on my research that I've barely ventured out of Teltian lately, perhaps to my detriment. At this rate, I may lose sight of the purpose behind my research. Would it be alright if I paid a visit to my hometown? It's been some time since I've been back. Of course, you have my permission, my encouragement even, to go as far as the ends of the world if it helps you discover the truth you seek. Thank you, Master Doran. I shouldn't be away long. As ever, it's my honor to be your 20th pupil? 20th pupil? When I began to study, I didn't realize uncovering the origins of winter and how to replicate it would prove so elusive. If we could wrest control of the cold itself, we could best the Winter Queen at her own game. Then we would finally be free. Wait, is she still doing stream? No. Okay, wait, where the heck is my tabs? Okay. You think so too, don't you? So he has get our freedom from the snow. Wait. Take this. It will be your only hope now. And please look after him. Wait, what? As you return the transmuted object to Lewis, he takes it from you and quickly stuffs it into a small bag. I never would have imagined myself taking up the study of alchemy, but even so, I don't think it's wholly outside what I could envision myself doing. But did you hear him going on about his research into artificially replicating winter itself? The winter! Aren't there supposed to be limits to brazen stupidity? And to undertake such unpardonable atrocities with my body? Totally unforgivable. If that's not the picture of stark, raving madness, I don't know what is. I'm sorry. It's all just so beyond absurd. I'm having a hard time reining in my feelings. I prefer to continue this conversation in a more comfortable environment. So if it's alright with you, let's convene in Sleebnice. I've already peppered you with enough embarrassing outbursts for one day. And besides, there's something there I want to show you. Oh. Actually, now that I look around, I doubt it'll be much more placid here than in the castle. There's seldom been a quiet day since the investigation began. Yo-ho, Mr. Mountainkeeper, I'm not letting you slip away today. What the heck? You see a woman wears the garb of royal alchemist, waving at Lois, her eyes twinkling. Oh, come on, what happened to team spirit? I really, really, really need your knowledge to help fill today's report with accurate, in-depth insights, but you're always brushing me off with that line about not having enough social energy or whatever. How could you possibly resist the glorious siren song of this prestigious opportunity to contribute to the evolution of the alchemical sciences? That's what my report is all about, really. First of all, I never agreed to collaborate on that report with you, and secondly, glory and prestige are the last things I'm interested in. Do you think you could speak with her for me? Maybe explain things so she'll understand? I don't think I can get any closer without being drawn into a lengthy discussion. I just as soon avoid her for now, but I can't show you what I spoke of earlier without passing through the camp. Oh my goodness. Collaborate on what? Oh, you're asking what I want to persuade him about? You see, I'm actually a key contributor to an important joint report. The working title is Can Unsatisfactory Laboratory Conditions Be Offset Through the Use of Elemental Crystals? What? We're working on coming up with a snappy title, of course, but as an accomplished alchemist yourself, surely you must realize the exciting possibilities of this research. If we can solve this conundrum, alchemists will be able to conduct complex experiments with sensitive tolerances in even the harshest environments. The days of late reports and missed deadlines due to unfavorable weather or temperatures will be a thing of the past. Has demonstrated an impressive understanding of the elements and the complexities of their interactions. Venturing into the hinterlands. How wrong my initial assessment proved. A few days ago, he hesitantly approached me saying he had a few questions on alchemy he'd like to run by me. But these were no initiate's queries. His questions were of a level few save a royal alchemist could answer. In particular, he demonstrated a highly nuanced level of understand regarding the elements, their individual properties, balance, influence on one another, and more. Each answer I gave invited further questions, seeking greater clarification. Some lines of inquiry delved so deep even I eventually found myself unable to furnish him with proper answers. That's when I thought to ask you to act as an intermediary in this matter. Would you be willing to help me persuade Louis? Wait, does it matter who I try to persuade? Ugh. I guess it doesn't really matter. For now, out of necessity, you do your best to persuade the Royal Alchemist to wait a while before trying to ask for Louis' help. I didn't realize he might see it as an imposition. Well, I owe you a great deal for introducing me to such a talented individual, so very well. You can tell Louis he's off the hook for now. I'll be writing a note to ask him again later, though. For now, at least I've got enough material to discuss with the other scholars. The Royal Alchemist lowers her head and resumes her conversation with the nearby researchers. Oh my. Aline and Redetermined, blah blah. It was my mistake to ask someone with such an unquenchable curiosity to verify the accuracy of this knowledge I've come into. It was the first time I'd ever really run up against another person's overbearing inquisitiveness. Or perhaps I had before, but I just don't remember. My memories of the past are still rather spotty, unfortunately, so it's hard to say. Although it's upset me to see that man who looks like me using alchemy for such a deplorable purpose. I'm not against alchemy itself. On the contrary, I think alchemy is a valuable science that has helped humans prosper. There are three problems I have with this situation. My first issue is that the one who is trying to do these things is, well, he's me, or someone who looks virtually identical to me. Wherever he may be, he obviously knows what he's doing, and fully grasps the natural order he would make a mockery of. There's a world of difference between acting without understanding the ramifications and acting with willful intent. Depending on the intention with which an action is undertaken, the results can vary substantially. My second issue involves she who dwells within the fissure. Even after having something precious to her taken, she's still in there, doing who knows what. That oddly dressed druid friend of yours explained how to move about in there without attracting her notice, and that's what I've been doing, but it seems a bit too quiet, as though her next plan has already been set in motion. At least the fissure is still sealed, thanks to him. It's still unnerving to think that similar circumstances befell the other me I saw in that vision. Knowing that, I feel it all the more important to remain vigilant, to ensure that never happens. And lastly, if that other me really is another version of me, then surely we must share many similar experiences. And presuming that's so, Winter's winds and snows would surely have been an ever present element in his life. Having lived those experiences, would he truly go so far as to usurp winter itself? It really is difficult to express things I feel and know at an instinctual level in words. If you were in my shoes, do you think you would have reacted as I did, letting it go unchecked? Or would your heart have harbored doubts that would move you to action, as it seems my counterpart did? If you have any lingering questions, I'll try to explain as best I can with his knowledge. I would have my doubts. If you wish, I'll do my best to clear things up. However, I think it'd be easiest to explain it from my perspective rather than his, since what happened to him doesn't match my own experiences. At the beckoning of the Lord of Winter, my soul was spirited into Glenbjorna, but thanks to you, I managed to avoid becoming a permanent resident. However, defying that fate drew her attention to me all the more. When I finally came to, your druid friend and I broke the ages-old covenant that he who holds the sheaves from the last harvest will serve the Lord of Winter. Can you understand how she would feel? It's like a crack is forming in the edifice of her divine authority, as one who holds sway over the season's forces. To maintain her hold, she would have to reestablish her authority. How would she do that? How does she reassert herself? Reassert what has been flouted? Which being does she know who holds the greatest fear and reverence for her power and dignity? I fear the winter. I'm intimately well acquainted with its many dangers, with the ways it demands to be treated with respect. That's how I was raised from childhood, and how I feel even now. Winter's white fields are a tomb without an epitaph, like a mire whose snows hide every peril, the ice reaching up like the hands to grab your feet and drag you down. On a land such lifeless silence, in a land of such lifeless silence, nothing can be born. So what happens if, the moment I somehow replicate the winter, the mighty one simply takes it for her own, filling her empty reverie with what I'd made? How would such a winter spill out into this world? Would it ultimately matter who made it, or would the result be the same? Damn it, not the mighty one. I meant the Lord of Winter, or the Winter Queen, as she's sometimes known. You know, there are a number of other mountain keepers far better at putting ideas into words than I am. I wish they were here to explain this in a way that's easier to understand. Sorry if that wasn't sorry if that wasn't crystal clear, but that's about as good an explanation as I can give. Bah, look at how far off course I veered with this talk of alchemy. Anyway, the point I was getting at is that alchemy is a field of study that guides ordinary people toward understanding the essence that underlies the workings of the world, and I'm simply borrowing a bit of that power. Trying to fit it with everything in my heart, that's why I intend to use every means at my disposal. Although I wasn't able to find any firewood in there, I saw many things that defied description. Strange scenes playing out before me, like the one I showed you. And just in case you were thinking I may have brought this problem upon myself, I don't think what I saw was the cause of this unasked for knowledge I've been receiving. I realize that comes drifting in whether or not I see anything on my forays into the fissure. Took me a while to come to that realization myself, actually. So the reason I want to venture into Glenbierna with you is to display the most tangible signs of what has been welling up within me. This phantom knowledge has intermingled with my own experiences and expertise to evolve into something I never could have imagined. Uh, God damn it, come on. An agreement, yada yada yada. Don't seem to have noticed. Alright, follow me. Oh, this is a rather unfamiliar sensation. Is that you? What the? It's all very strange to see myself as in a mirror and know that it's me, but at the same time, not me is unsettling enough. But this, ah, but this goes even beyond that. An experience that defies easy understandings. This is the first I've experienced anything like this, but perhaps that's actually for the best in this case. I think that given our present circumstances, I can offer a better account of the changes that have been welling up within me. In fact, I mean to show you more than tell. Ever since the memories and knowledge I spoke of before began seeping into my mind, I've begun to feel as though I and my other self are like two threads being wound upon a single spindle. The places in my own recollections that have been lost or forgotten are slowly being filled in with those of the other. Two sets of memories, two different lives, are being woven into one. I know I said it before, but it's really difficult to put this all into words. Perhaps an easy way to explain it is that in some way my skill with the bow and my other self's experience studying alchemy became entwined. It's as though parts of two different timelines, two different potentialities, are being merged into one. All my life I've been a mountain keeper, and in that time I've become a fairly good shot with a bow. However, at no point did I ever have the opportunity to study alchemy. Be that as it may, I now possess a considerable knowledge of alchemical concepts and the ability to skillfully apply that knowledge. It seems as though the wisdom obtained by the other me, who devoted his days to the study of alchemy, has come to dwell within the me who has spent most of his life among the mountains. But anyway, that's not the main point here. The reason I wanted to show you this strange power is because of your affiliation with the Arcana Association. The focus of the association's research seems to have a great deal of overlap with what has manifested in me. And if this power is indeed something you can use, I thought it might prove helpful, since this ability appears to draw on dualistic roots. I figured that only someone capable of using two talents simultaneously could understand it. As for why I had to come all the way into Glenbierna, well, I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but it's the one place I could think of that's entirely free from prying eyes. The last thing I wanted to do was call attention to myself. Any onlookers, no matter how well intentioned, would only make it harder for me to explain this power. That's why I needed to be somewhere no one else could see us. I apologize if I've caused any trouble, but I wanted to ensure I was able to give you the clearest picture of how these abilities work to provide a good foundation for your own study. Since it may not be a good idea to linger here, let's quickly go over the fundamentals. Though undeniably different, archery and alchemy aren't wholly without overlap. As you are maybe aware, what the security? The skill crash shot That said, even a skill as ingenious as Crash Shot simply utilizes the principle behind ice mines. One can't claim that it draws on the fundamental basis of battle alchemy, that is, the four classical elements. But this unknown art that took shape in me after all that strange things I have experienced draws directly on the four elements and their complex web of interactions with one another, where Kresha merely emulates an alchemical reaction. This power harnesses the true essence. In short, these skills draw upon the concentrated energy of the natural world's four base elements contained in alchemical crystals. But more than simply that, they also exhibit an added effect when the second element is applied to the first, depending on the combination. Judging by your expression, I think it might be faster to simply have you try them out for yourself. And there's no substitute for learning with. Ugh. I've got something in my satchel that should prove helpful for your exercise. You can use it to summon targets to practice on. I realize I'm a far cry from you in terms of power, but you should find my body able to execute the skills without difficulty. Anyway, that's about as far as my talking will take you. The rest I think you'll understand when you use these abilities for yourself. Tough string. What the heck is all of this? Choose one of the four. Oh, so wait, I have to click it? That's that. Okay, so Aqua Volley starts with water. Then you can choose one of the three. Oh, this is going to take so much getting used to. Yeah, this is going to take getting used to how to, like, chain between the things. If you're done training, talk to Lois. Oh yeah, wait. Does it... No, it's not shows up there. Ah, are you done trying them out? Now that I think about it, it seems odd to speak of these abilities like one might a horse or a tool. But in any case, are the underlying principles clear at least? Ah, glad to hear it. I suppose that means we can head back now. You know, this fellow whose body I'm presently inhabiting, I could swear I recognize his voice from somewhere. Still, it seems odd that I'd find the voice familiar without remembering who it is. Perhaps he's someone I knew well, but all my recollections of him were frozen away, like so many of my other memories. It's also possible he's someone I met on one of my trips down from the mountains. It's a shame. He could very well be someone in the same situation as my fellow mountain keepers, spirited away into Glenbierna with against their will. It may even be the voice of some unfortunate soul who was unable to survive winter's chill. Okay, so just talk to him again. Curious, I wonder, did this ever happen because I'd always gone in alone? I doubt my body is capable of the sorts of physical feats you're able to perform. But what did you think of the skills themselves? The power of the Arcana seems able to imbue the arrowheads with two elements. Using my body as some sort of catalyst to induce a reaction, the skills are quite varied, but they all share that common principle. My working theory is that, in a way somewhat similar to how this Arcana fuses two elements, there is some sort of ongoing fusion to work within me, melding the time I've spent training in archery with the years my other self spent studying alchemy. And it's that improbable combination that gave rise to these strange abilities. You may be a little reluctant to trust in it, given the perplexing manner in which I received this knowledge, but I can assure you it's nothing to be concerned about. Ever since this began, I've continuously st- I've been consti- ah. Ever since this began, I've been continuously studying and experimenting in order to put this knowledge to the proof. I have to in order to establish this understanding as something I've verified for myself before another wave of unlooked for insights fills my head. Above all, I vowed not to let anything more be taken from me. That's why, given my comfort and familiarity with archery, I've worked hard to unite this knowledge with my bowmanship. Consider the result to be nothing short of miraculous. In a sense, what I developed was a unique art that blended everything I was capable of in order to draw ever closer to achieving my goal. My goal being what it is. The power has taken a rather destructive bent, at times even oppressive in the forces it's capable of unleashing. Still, that sounds like all upsides and no downsides for you, right? At least, so I'd been hoping. That reminds me, I have a couple of favors to ask you, mostly to help ensure people's safety. Could you keep secret that I gained this knowledge after venturing into Glenbierna? It would be one thing if people heard it happened to you. From what I've come to understand, you lead a rather adventurous life, facing down problems others can't, and anyone who's heard of you likely knows it. They'd probably think something like this is entirely normal for you, although I doubt that's true. The problem is, if people hear that something extraordinary happened to an ordinary fellow like me, some may come to believe that the same sort of thing could happen to them. They'd have no grounds for such belief, of course, but over time, some might attempt to enter Glenbierna. Only then would they realize how far in over their heads they were. And let's say someone did happen to gain knowledge in the same way I did, they quickly discover it's not a pleasant experience at all. You have to constantly review what you know and reassert your identity while new thoughts and knowledge keep flowing in. My other request is a bit more personal. I'd like your help applying for membership in the Arcana Association. I'm not asking you to speak on my behalf or pull any strings. I'd just like you to be there with me when I speak with the head of the association. Yes, after speaking with you, I'm not of the mind that the association's goals are consistent with my own beliefs, and aspirations. But beyond that, I can't simply expect to call on you to fend off each and every danger that might loom large before me. Ideally, I'd like to be able to face such challenges head on myself. Realistically, though, there's so much that's still new to me about so many things that I think I would benefit from hearing about others' experiences. If I can learn, if I can grow, then someday I might be able to save the other mountain keepers. It feels as though I'm always asking you for some sort of favor, and I hope you don't think of me like that, but I want you to know I have no wish to inconvenience you or to become overly reliant on your willingness to help. Would that be alright? Okay, yeah. Well, that seems worthy to you. Okay, so does that mean we just go back to the Arcana Association? Okay, so we just head back and we should be able to complete this. Because goddamn. Ah, there you are. It's giving me the general gist of the story, so I have a rough idea of what has transpired. Just to run it by you properly, has found himself the holder of a new arcana. It seems something manifested within him when he was spirited into Glenbjerna during your adventure there. And it sounds like you were able to use these abilities yourself there, without even having formally encountered an arcana that would grant such a power. Do I have that right? You were here at the very moment we lit the flame of the enkindling lantern, so I have no cause to doubt you, and I certainly have never heard of any skills like those Lewis described to me. Still, I can't shake the feeling there's a cloud hanging over Lois. I plan to pry into a bit more, but I don't imagine it will be easy. It seems nothing involving Glenbjerna ever is. Okay, I'm just going to skip through this because oh my god, I want to get the last one. And Hermetic Harmony skill? Complete the first link quest. Hold on, what? Oh no. This is gonna be annoying. Wait, did it just give me... Where is it? I know it gave me something. Oh, here it is. Smoldering threads. It did. Huh. Oh, do I want to do... Oh my god, that's gonna cost a lot. It's gonna cost 3 mil. So each thread is 150? I guess this is gonna be a hard question of... Should I focus on Maybe I should just focus on Elemental Knight. Oh wait, I need 50. Oh fuck, I got to level it. I forgot.